Output tax. In this balance sheet, under liabilities, we have output tax. This is also a general ledger account which we will be creating under account group. So output tax is a liability because whenever we purchase some goods, it becomes input tax. Whenever we sell the goods, it becomes output tax. So when output tax is created, that means whenever we do the sales, we will deduct some of the amount from the amount which we have received from the vendor. On behalf of him, we need to pay it to the government. So this is output tax because we are liable to pay the tax amount which is given by vendor to the government. So we are liable to pay to the government. This is called output tax. And this is a GL account. All the transactions related to tax will get stored in this GL account called as output tax. And input tax. Input tax is an asset. We will create a one GL account for input tax. So whenever we purchase any goods, we will give the amount to the customer, to the vendor. That means we are paying the tax also in the goods because MRP, if you see on any product, in any product, it specifies that MRP inclusive of taxes. That means if the product rate is 100 rupees, 10 rupees might be the tax. So we are paying 100 rupees, 90 rupees for the vendor and 10 rupees to the government. But we cannot give the total amount to the government. Government will take it from the vendor. So whenever we purchase any goods, we will be paying the tax also. That means we have paid the tax. That is an input tax. So that is an asset for us because we have paid in advance. So whenever we purchase a product, this becomes the input tax. This will be creating as a GL. This will be creating as a GL account under assets account group. So this assets will come in the financial reports in the balance sheet. And the another financial statement is profit and loss account. If you can see in the right side of the screen, here in profit and loss account, we will create two account groups. One is for expenses and one is for incomes. All the transactions which are related to expenses, we will create GL accounts for separate type of transaction. For example, rent expense, we'll create one GL account and post all the rent expenses transactions into that GL account. And also the electricity expenses, we will create another GL account for electricity expenses and post all the transactions related to electricity. Whenever pay the electricity bill or whenever we receive the electricity bill, it becomes a liability and it becomes under liability. And when we pay it, it becomes an expense. Whenever we receive the electricity expense, it becomes the liability because we are liable to pay to the government. And when we pay it, it becomes an expense. In the same way, whenever we pay any interest on the loans or anything, it becomes an expense. So for this, we will create a separate GL account called as interest. And for stationery also, we'll create an GL account, and for fuel expense, any type of expenses, we will be creating a GL account under the account group expenses. In the same way, we will create an account group for incomes also, and all the incomes related activities, we will create a separate GL account under the account group incomes. For example, sales, interest received, cash discount received, gain on asset sale, foreign exchange gain. These are all types of incomes. So even more, so many types of incomes will be there in the organization. So any type of transaction which is related to income, we need to create a separate GL account for that type of transactions. So all the GL account, all the transactions related to that nature will get stored in that GL account only. We need to select the GL account when we post the transaction. This is all about account group. we will dive into the concept of configuration, how to create an account group. Go to SAP screen, log into SAP, and go into SPRO. Use the transaction code SPRO and click on SAP reference IMG. Here in financial accounting, go to general ledger accounting, master data, GL accounts, preparations. Here we have define account group. Execute this. Here we'll have so many types of account groups which are linked to the chart of accounts. Every account group should be linked to chart of accounts, and chart of accounts is been assigned to company code. So to create a account group, click on new entries. In chart of accounts, give your chart of accounts. Search your chart of accounts 222. Double click on it. Account group I will create for liabilities. I'll give the name as liabilities 222. From account I will select, I have given the length of GL account number to be 6. So here the account number should be 6 digit. It will accept only up to 6 digit. If you see, I'm creating another digit. If I click on enter, specify account interval. If I give the another account also, if I give 7 digit, it will not accept when creating the GL account, even though if I have given 7 digit here. See, it has got saved, but as we have given 6 digit, give only 6 digit, because while creation of GL account it becomes a problem. Don't give 7 digit. Delete that. To delete this, just select the chart of accounts, select the chart of accounts and click on delete, because it have already got deleted. So if we go to position and give our chart of accounts 222, there is no chart of accounts. No problem, we will click on new entries and post the correct entries. Give your chart of accounts 222 and account group give us liability, and name should be the full name, liabilities. From account I'll give 1 lakh to 1,99,999, and in the second line give the chart of accounts 222. Select this chart of accounts and account group, give the account group. Next one is for asset. I'll create another account group for assets. Triple two I'm giving it because when it will be easier for us to find out. This I will give the number range from 2 lakhs to 2,99,999, and in another line select your chart of accounts by typing. System will show how many chart of accounts are there for 222. Select the 222 COA, and another account group I'll create for income. Name should be a full name, incomes 222. For this I'll give the number range I'll give the interval from account 3 lakhs to 3,99,999 and chart of accounts 222 and account group give as expenses, give the full name here, and interval should be 4 lakhs to 4,99,999 and click enter. Now we can see that we can create for liabilities account group 1 lakh to 1,99,999. In addition, assets also can be created from 2 lakhs to 2,99,999. That means 1 lakh GL accounts can be created for assets. So 1 lakh assets GL account can be created. And also same for the incomes, but only the number will be changing 3 lakhs to 3,99,999 and for expenses 4 lakhs to 4,99,999. After clicking on enter, click on save. Data was saved. Now go back and scroll down so that we can see what is the account groups which we have created. Assets, expenses, incomes and liabilities. So these are all the account groups which we have just created. After clicking on save, go back. And the next concept is retained earnings account. First we will understand what is retained earnings account. Retained earnings account is used to carry forward the balance from one fiscal year to next fiscal year. You can assign a retained earnings account to profit and loss account. To automatically carry forward the balance to next fiscal year, you should define profit and loss statement as per the chart of accounts and assign them to the retained earnings account. So retained earnings account in simple words means whenever there are retained earnings account from the past year which has carry forward to the current year. Suppose let us say our fiscal year is starting from January 1st and ends on December 31st. Here, whenever there is a beginning retained earnings account, the formula for the retained earnings account is, if at all there is a balance which is been carried forward from past year and brought forward to the current fiscal year, there will be a balance in it. That is called as beginning retained earnings. Plus, whether in this year we have earned profit or loss or incurred loss, that balance will be added or subtracted from beginning retained earnings account balance and minus cash distributions to owners. From the profit which we have earned in the current year, we need to distribute some of the profit to the owner, and the balance will be ending retained earnings account, ending retained earnings balance. So if we see here, the beginning retained earnings account, suppose let us say 100 rupees we have brought forward, plus we have 200 rupees we have earned 200 rupees profit. So now the balance will be 100 of from beginning retained earnings plus 200 from the profit. So 300 minus, suppose let us say 80 rupees we have distributed to the owners. After distributing the profit of 80 rupees to the owners, the balance will be 220. So this balance is ending retained earnings account. This balance will be ending retained earnings. It's called as ending retained earnings, which is been transferred to retained earnings account. So this retained earnings account, we need to assign this to the chart of accounts. So to do the configurations, go to SAP. In SAP, go to Financial Accounting, In financial accounting, go to General Ledger Accounting. In General Ledger Accounting, go to Master Data and then GL Accounts and then Preparations. Here we have defined retained earnings account. Execute this. Give the chart of accounts 222. Search it or you can type it. After giving chart of accounts, click on continue. Here profit and loss account should be X. Give X and account I'll give as 1,99,999. This is the GL account number which I am giving. I have not yet created any GL account, but I'll give this number to create retained earnings account. Just after giving 1,99,999, click enter and again click enter. The system says account 1,99,900 not created in chart of accounts. Because we have not yet created any GL account, it is saying that it is just a warning, not an error. So what is the difference between warning and error? I'll say you now. Warning means it will show a warning, but we can proceed further in the configuration by clicking on enter. But if it is an error, we cannot proceed further until we clear the error. So here it is just a warning. Just click enter. And now click on save. Click on continue. So I have given 1,99,999 because this is the account group for liabilities. If we go into new screen, click on Ctrl N and go to SPRO, we'll see the account group once. Go to SAP reference IMG, go to financial accounting, general ledger accounting, master data, GL accounts, preparations. Here we'll have define account group. Execute this. Click on position. Give the chart of accounts 222 and click enter. Here if we see for liabilities, I have given 1 lakh to 1,99,999. Okay, that means we can create the 1 lakh GL accounts between this range for liabilities account group. I have not yet created any GL account, but I will be using this number 1,99,999 to create retained earnings account in the coming configurations. And if I go to the previous screen, when we are creating the retained earnings account, so after clicking on enter, click on save and go back. And the next configuration which we will be doing now is tolerance groups. So this is tolerance groups for GL accounts. This is the next configuration which we will be doing now. We'll understand what is this and why we are doing this configuration. For GL accounts clearing, tolerance groups define the limits within which differences are accepted and automatically posted to predefined accounts. The groups defined here can be assigned to the general ledger account master data. In simple words, tolerance groups is like the differences which we can accept. For example, whenever we sell the goods to vendors, he will be paying us a part payment of it. So a part payment might not be or might be from the invoice. For example, we have sold goods worth 1,000 rupees, but customer is paying only 990 rupees. That means there is a 10 rupees difference between the invoice and the payment. At this time, we need to give up to what difference amount the system needs to accept it. For example, if we give the amount as 10 rupees from the bill amount, if the customer pays 990 rupees out of 1000 rupees, 10 rupees is accepted. If he pays only 950 rupees, the difference is more. That is, the difference will be 50 rupees. 1000 minus 950 is 50. So at this time, system will not accept the difference because it is more than the tolerance group amount which we have given as 10. So that means system will not accept and it will ask, it cannot post. The difference is too large and it cannot post. If the customer pays 995 rupees out of 1000 rupees, the difference is 5 rupees only. As the difference is below the tolerance group limit, the system will accept the payment. So this configuration to enable this type of activity in the end user activity, we need to do some configurations. To do the configuration, go into SAP and go into SPRO screen and SAP reference IMG. Here go into financial accounting, general ledger accounting, business transactions, open item clearing, and we'll find clearing differences. Go into clearing differences. Here we can find the first option, define tolerance groups for GL accounts. And to see the transaction code, activate the maintenance object. Here you can see the transaction codes. In SAP, all the screens will not have transaction codes. Most of the screens will have transaction codes, but only few of them will not have. In real time, with the help of ABAPers, we can change the transaction codes for each screen, as well as we can give a new transaction code for the screens which SAP standard have not given the T codes. For this type of transaction, for this type of screen, define tolerance groups for GL accounts. The transaction code is OBA0. Execute this by clicking on IMG activity. Here we can give the tolerance groups for GL accounts. Click on new entries. Give the company code 222. And then give only the name tolerance GL 222. And now I'll not give any of the amount because in the future coming steps I'll tell you where to give and how to give, how much to give. By this point in this step, we should only create a tolerance group for the company code and then click on save and then click on continue. This is how we will be creating tolerance groups for GL accounts. This is for GL accounts, any type of GL account. And the next configuration is tolerance groups for employees. Here we can define amount limits for your employees. You use these limits to determine the maximum amount for which an employee is permitted to post a document and the maximum limit of line item an employee is permitted to enter in a customer account or vendor account or general ledger account. The percentage amount an employee can enter in a line item and the maximum acceptable payment Payment differences within certain tolerance groups are posted automatically. The system either adjusts the discounts or posts the difference to a separate expense or revenue account. In simple words, tolerance groups for employees is same like the tolerance group for GL accounts, but that tolerance group is used for GL accounts and this tolerance groups will be used for employees. In simple words, how I can say is, for example, we have some of the employees who purchase the goods from vendors, and we have a group who sells the goods to customers. So there are two different types of employees who purchase the goods and who sells the goods. So they, for one group who sells and one group for purchases. So if we give in this configuration, we will give the group for employees. Whoever purchases the goods, they can purchase only up to 10 lakhs. If I give for that group of employees, he can purchase the goods only up to 10 lakhs. Every person who is there in that group can post the transaction up to 10 lakhs. If he purchases the goods above the 10 lakhs, the system will not accept, even if he purchases 10 lakhs 1 rupee also. And there is a group of employees who sells the goods to customers. Here I'll give like they can sell the goods up to 50 lakhs. So whenever they post the transaction up to 50 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs or 50 lakhs, system will accept. But above 50 lakhs if they want to sell, they cannot sell because system will not accept to post the document. To give this type of limits, we need to do the configurations in SAP. To do that, go into SAP Easy Access screen. After SAP Easy Access screen, go into Display IMG screen where we do the configurations. Here, in the same menu path, under Financial Accounting, go to General Ledger Accounting and Business Transactions and Open Item Clearing. In Open Item Clearing, we have clearing differences. Go into Clearing Differences. Here, click on Define Tolerance Groups for Employees. Execute this. Then click on New Entries. Here, give the company code 222 and amount per document. This is under upper limits for posting procedures. The example which we have just discussed, that is some group of employees, suppose who is purchasing the goods from vendor, they can purchase up to 10 lakhs, and the persons who are selling the goods, they can sell only up to 50 lakhs. So that upper limits can be given here. I'll give like amount per document the maximum, like 9 lakh. I'll give 9999. Up to this amount we can post. Amount per open item account item. This means the open item account is the account where we do the invoices. Suppose we have purchased the goods worth 10 lakhs. At that time we will not pay the document for the document which we have posted. We will post only that we have purchased the goods up to 10 lakhs. We have of 10 lakhs and that should be paid within 30 days. So after 30 days, till 30 days after posting the invoice, this 30 days credit period, that invoice will be as an open item in the SAP. So that means we need to clear the document by paying it. So while paying, how much should be the open item account item? And while open item, how much the upper limit should be given. That should be given here. So now I will give 9999999 and the cash discount per line item. How much discount can be accepted per line item? I will tell you what is line item. Line item means, suppose from one vendor, for example from Tata, we are a Tata company, so we'll take an example of Reliance. So we are purchasing from Reliance goods worth 10 lakhs. For example, petrol and diesel. We are purchasing two types of fuel from one vendor itself. So we need to post two line items here. We need to select petrol in one line item and diesel in one line item. But the vendor will be same. From one vendor we are purchasing two types of goods, that is petrol and diesel. So this is called a line item. Suppose we are purchasing even the gas like CNG or the electricity we are purchasing, or we are purchasing how many types of goods from Reliance. For example, we are purchasing some clothes or grocery or the stationery, or we are procuring some services from them. So for each line item we need to select a separate product, because we are purchasing different types of products. So per each line item how much should be the cash discount will be configuring here. I'll give like 10. After giving this, just click on save. We are not giving any amount in permitted payment differences, because there should be not any difference between invoice amount and the payment amount. And click on save and click on continue. So the data is saved. And now go back. Now the next configuration is creation of GL accounts. Now we will create GL accounts. To create GL accounts, go to SAP Easy Access screen, which is called as end user screen. Here go to accounting and then financial accounting, general ledger, master records, GL accounts, individual processing. Here we have FS00. The transaction code is FS00 and we are creating GL accounts individually, centrally. Double click on this. Here click on create. Give the GL account number as 3 lakhs and give the company code 222 and click on continue. Here select the GL account type, that is primary costs or revenue, and account group will be incomes. Short text, give the GL account name here, sales. This GL account I am creating it for sales. Go to control data tab and scroll down. Here you'll have sort key. Search this and select 001 posting date. So here, what is sort key? The system uses a standard sort sequence for displaying the line items. Among other things, it sorts the items according to the content of the allocation field. This field can be filled either manually or automatically when a document line item is entered. In simple words, sort key means whenever we post the transaction, suppose for example we are purchasing some goods of different types, like one is for raw material and one is for raw material 2 and one is for raw material 3. So this line items will be in a sequence of line items. So this sort sequence will assign here how this line item should be displayed. So I have selected 001. Based on the posting date, this line items will be displayed. Suppose yesterday we have purchased raw material 1 and today we have purchased raw material 1 and tomorrow also I have selected raw material 1. So in which order it needs to be displayed? It needs to be displayed based on the posting key which I have selected. So first line item will be shown as a today's date, and second line item will be tomorrow's, and third line item will be day after yesterday, day after tomorrow. So this is used for that. And next, go to create bank or interest. Here select the field status group. As I have said you, field status is the configuration where we can control the fields based on the type of it. Suppose if it should be shown as a displayed or suppress, or is it a required. I'll select G001. As this is an income, we can select G029. G001 also we can select, but it is used for expenses in most of the cases. As SAP have given us for revenue accounts, we can use G029. Double click on this, and if we go to type or description, I have selected account group. We have created account groups of 4 types, that is assets, expenses, incomes and liabilities, and now I have selected incomes because sales is an income. That's it. After selecting the sort key and also the field status group, click on save. Now if you want to see what are the GL accounts created under your company code, here we have change company code. Click on this, give the company code 222, and then click on continue. Here we can see the incomes. Under incomes account group we have sales. This is the GL account. Sales is a GL account. This is the number which we have given for sales GL account. If you want to see what is the account group, go to OBD4 and see for incomes we have given 3 lakhs to 3,99,999. For example, if I select another number, if I give 4 lakhs here and select the account group assets, it will not accept because I have given for incomes I need to select only the number interval between 3 lakhs to 3,99,999. And we'll create another GL account. Click on create. While doing any configurations in GL account, while creation of GL account, if you don't find this pane where all the GL accounts are displayed with the account group under this company code, just go to settings and click on hierarchy display. Here you can have the 2 options. You need to select display accounts in navigation tree. If you select this option only, here we can see the navigation tree. I'll show you an example by selecting do not display navigation tree and click on continue. This settings will take effect after coming into this screen by closing this screen again. Go back and double click on FS00 in SAP Easy Access. Now we cannot see any of the navigation tree. That means we need to select hierarchy display and select display accounts in navigation tree to see the display of all the GL accounts which has been created under different account groups. After selecting display accounts in navigation tree, click on continue. And this is telling that the new setting will take effect once the transaction is restarted. So this is the transaction of FS00. This is the transaction code it is telling about, and click on continue. Once if we go back and again restart or re-enter the same display screen, we can see now the navigation tree have been activated. And under incomes account group, we have created sales GL account. Now we will create another GL account. Click on create. Give the GL account number as 4 lakhs and click on continue. And 4 lakhs account group is used for creation of expenses. Okay. You see in the account group, if we go to position, give the chart of accounts 222, we can see that 4 lakhs has been assigned for expenses. We can only create expenses GL account under this account group. And go to the creation of GL account screen, that is FS00. I have given the GL account number 4 lakhs and select the GL account type as primary costs or revenue and select the account group expenses. Give the short text as purchases and the long text also purchases. What is the difference between long text and short text is, this is the short form and this is the full form of the name of this GL account. After giving long text, go to control data and scroll down, select the sort key, that is 001 posting date, and go to create bank or interest tab. Select the field status group as G001, that is for general. Because this is an expense, we can use G001 and click on save. Now if you see here in the navigation tree, expenses, under expenses account group, one GL account is been created, that is purchases. And now we will create another GL account, that is for sundry debtors. We will see which account group we have given in GL account group. So debtors is an expense. Debtors is a assets. So assets number interval is 2 lakhs to 2,99,999. And go to creation of GL account screen. Click on create and give the GL account number as 2 lakhs and click on continue. Go to type or description tab. Select it as balance sheet account because this is an asset. Sundry debtors because we have sold. Who are debtors? All the customers are called as debtors. Whenever we sell the goods, we need to receive some money. Till we receive the money, all the people who are customers will become an assets for us because they are liable to pay to us. And account group will be assets. Give the short text as debtors and the long text as debtors. Go to control data. Here, if we see reconciliation account type in control data, Here we need to select customers. We will see what is reconciliation account type. So reconciliation accounts. Reconciliation account is normally assigned to customers or vendors master to record all the transactions in subledger. When you post transaction to an account, the system automatically posts to the corresponding reconciliation account. You cannot post to reconciliation account directly. Using this reconciliation account procedure, it is possible to create a balance sheet and P&L account statement at any time. That means this is the GL account which we are creating now is for debtors, means customers. All the customers accounts will get linked to this GL account. This is a reconciliation account. That is the reason we have selected reconciliation account type. After selecting reconciliation account type, go to create bank or interest. In the field status group, as this is a reconciliation account, select the field status group which is related to reconciliation accounts, that is G067. Select this and click on save. Now the data's reconciliation account has been created. Now we will create another GL account, that is for customers, that is for vendors. Vendors are called as creditors also. So they are liabilities. Go to account group and see what is the number range which we have given. For liabilities, I have given 1 lakh to 1,99,999. Go to the GL account creation screen and give the GL account number as 1 lakh and click on continue. Go to type or description. Select the GL account type as balance sheet because creditors are liabilities. Select the account group as liabilities and give the short text, that is creditors, and the long text also creditors. And go to control data. Here the reconciliation account type is vendors because we are creating it for vendors. Scroll down, select the sort key as 001 and go to create bank or interest. Field status group will be same for vendors as well as customers, that is debtors as well as creditors, that is G067. Double click on this to select. Click on save. Now we will check whether in debtors we have selected the sort key. We have not selected the sort key in debtors. To change this, after selecting debtors by double clicking, click on change. This fields will get activated to change. Now select the sort key 001. Click on save. So now we have created 4 types of GL accounts under each account group: assets, expenses, incomes and liabilities. Now we will create another GL account. Click on create and give the GL account number as 200001 and click on continue. Now I am creating one GL account for bank. Select it as balance sheet account and account group will be assets. Short text I'll give as SBI Bank. Long text also SBI Bank. Go to control data, select the sort key as 001 and go to create bank or interest. Here select the field status group which is related to bank, that is G005 for bank accounts. Double click on this, and in bank financial details company code, in company code select relevant to cash flow. This box should be checked for bank accounts because this bank account is relevant to cash flow, and click on save and click on continue. Now we will create another for expenses. Click on create, give the GL account number as 400001, click on continue, go to type or description, select the GL account type as primary costs or revenue, account group will be expenses, short text I'll give as rent expense, long text also will be the same, rent expense. Go to control data, select the sort key and go to create bank or interest. Select the field status group as G001. For all the expense GL accounts which we create, we need to select G001 and click on save. And now rent expense GL account is also been created. Now we can see that how many GL accounts which we have created under each account group. These are the account groups: assets, expenses, incomes and liabilities. And the next configuration is document splitting. We will first understand what is document splitting. Document splitting means which helps each business transaction that is entered is analyzed during the document splitting procedure. In this analysis, the system determines for each line item whether it is an item that remains unchanged or an item that should be split. Document splitting is a feature in SAP that allows organization to split the line item into multiple segments based on the configurations. The primary goal is to improve the accuracy and granularity of financial reports by splitting documents into different segments such as cost centers, profit centers, or other financial dimensions. It ensures that transactions are correctly distributed among various segments of the business. So in document splitting, there is another concept called as automatic splitting. In a document, the system will automatically split amounts based on predefined rules. For example, a specific percentage or based on the type of account, so that each segment reflects the correct share of the total transaction. This eliminates manual adjustments and reduces errors in reporting. Segments means a document can be split into various segments based on profit center, identifying which areas of the business generated the income or incurred the cost. Cost center, distributing costs to different parts of the company. Functional area, allocating expenses to specific functional areas like R&D, sales or marketing. Here I have given one example. Suppose we are purchasing the same goods. Suppose we are purchasing diesel, let us say, from Reliance. Reliance is a vendor for us. So we are using the same GL account in the both line items. amount will be 30,000 and 10,000. But the good is same, we are purchasing diesel only, but one is used for to produce OnePlus mobile and another GL account. If you see in the second line, that is used to purchase, that is used to produce Apple iPhone. So in this way, we can distribute the cost center based on different GL accounts or the same GL accounts based on different cost centers. This is called document splitting. So each line item will be based on cost center or profit center and functional area. Suppose, for example, we are purchasing diesel of 10,000 rupees. But this diesel is being used once it is used to produce the goods and another is used to deliver the goods. So at this time, we'll be selecting the cost center to produce the goods, and when we select the diesel for another type of cost center, we'll be selecting the cost center called as for sales and distribution, because sales and distribution is used to distribute the goods and see to it that it reaches the customer's place as on time. And if we see the document splitting in another slide, it says that document splitting functionality is particularly useful for business to track financial data separately for reporting and analysis purpose. General ledger accounts are categorized based on item categories related to the nature of business transactions. Assign a range instead of each GL account separately. That means whenever we are activating or we are configuring document splitting, instead of giving single GL account, we can give a group of GL accounts. To do this configuration, we need to go into SAP. Go to SAP. While posting a transaction, I'll show you how the document will be splitted. Now, at present, just understand the concept. Go back. We'll be in SAP Easy Access screen. From SAP Easy Access screen, go to SPRO transaction code by using command bar and click on SAP reference IMG. Click on financial accounting, general ledger accounting, business transactions, document splitting. Here we have an option called as classify GL accounts for document splitting. Execute this. Click on continue. Here if you see, for the transaction code, it is called as SIMG. This is not the transaction code. Whenever there is no transaction code for the screen, it will show as SIMG. If you go back also to the display IMG screen, if you activate here the maintenance object to see the transaction codes, for document splitting there is no transaction code. This is the table number. This is not a transaction code. That means SAP have not given us the standard transaction code to this screen. If you want to assign a transaction code, you can assign it by using the ABAP help. That is another module in SAP. ABAP is a coding language which is used to configure some of the custom reports or any of the configurations by using the coding, SAP coding, that is called as ABAP, ABAP. So now we will do this configuration of document splitting. Execute this. Give the chart of accounts 222 and click on continue. Here click on new entries. From account, go to the account group and see which account group is there. So 1 lakh to 1,99,000, that is liability. Give here 1 lakh to 1,99,999. Category. If you see the category, this is liability, so it is a balance sheet item. Select 01,000. This is used for balance sheet account. So all the accounts which comes under 1 lakh to 1,99,999 is a balance sheet account. And select another for 2 lakhs, 2 to 2,99,999. Go to account group screen and see 2 lakh is being used for assets. So here even asset is a balance sheet account. So select the same number 01,000 for balance sheet account. And next give 3 lakhs to 3,99,999 and see in the account group screen that 3 lakh is used for incomes. So income is a revenue. Search here and select revenue. 30,000. 30000. Double click on this and select another line and type 4 lakhs to 4,99,999. And this is expense. You can see it in the account group screen. That is 4 lakh is used for expenses. Search here and see where is the expenses. That is 20,000. Expenses is here. Double click on this. After selecting this all, click on save. Click on continue. Now all the details have been saved.